$60,000. So he was like, well, if I do this for you, what will you give me? The number. So he gave me a number.
How much?
The number he initially gave me was $6,000. And then it changed to $6,250. And then it changed to $9,000. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, why does this number keep changing? But I'm also at the same time thinking, just paid off $45,000. So $9,000 versus $45,000. I think I can take the $9,000. So, you're still kind of buzzing off of the high of, oh my God, this is gone. And I went into the bank and I pulled out the money.
Even right then and there?
On the spot.
You just walked.
Well, I walked into the bank and I pulled out the $9,000 cash. Cash.
And
Came back to the car, handed him the money, and thanked him. He said that he was waiting for his grandmother, and his grandmother had called him, and she was getting ready to come out of the bank. So that's kind of how we separated. So for the $100,000 mortgage to New Res, he said there was like a science to it. There was a mathematical equation. For X amount of dollars that we give away, we have to raise X amount of dollars in donations. And so without really measuring the logistics between that calculation, he suggested a figure. He said, well, what is it that you can do? I said, I don't know. He said, well, you saw what I did for your sister. Just what would you be able to donate that's relative to that? So mathematically, I said, I don't know, $100,000, that's well into like $20,000, $30,000 just to make a type of debt like that go away. And he said, well, I tell you what, we don't need to collect that much. Can you do $27,500? $27,500. And it just so happened that I had that amount because I was in the process of renovating a project, and I had earmarked funds set aside for that renovation project.
So you did what then?
Upon receiving the confirmations from each operator, and there was no transfer of anything to this person until after we received confirmations, and that's really important. But I went into the bank. Sure. I went into the bank and I pulled out $27,500 in cash.
Cash. Mm-hmm. Walked it back.
Mm-hmm. And gave it to this person because I saw $100,000 disappear from my bank ledger before my eyes. And what was it worth it to me to relieve myself of that amount of burden of debt? And to me, that was a small price to pay for that huge sum of debt. Business day number 4, January 31st. I got an email from my bank like 7:30 in the morning that said we couldn't process your payment. And I thought that was weird because, I had already made my regular mortgage payment. So I was like, well, I don't know. It's a glitch. I didn't think anything of it. I went on. I was like, it's paid in full. So what do you mean? There's nothing more for me to do. No other payments for me to make. So I went on about the day, and I checked my account. I checked my account online. Still said paid in full. Around 3:30, I think 3:30, I got a call from Wells Fargo. The representative on the phone said, well, we received your payment for your payoff of your loan, but it looks like there was an issue with the account information, so we just need you to give us that account information again. And I said, I'm sorry, what? she said, well, you know, we've got an account number here. And she read me off the account number. And she said, well, we don't have the routing number. And I guess the routing number is, you know, missing. But ultimately, we can't process your payment. At that point, it just felt like, what just happened? What just happened? I'm sick. I don't know. There's nothing I can do now. I've already given him the money. I'm not with him anymore, so I can't get it back. And I'm finding out that my payment is not valid. The feeling of having that paid off was very hard to explain, but the feeling of finding out that it was reversed or didn't process, that's truly indescribable. You just want to give up.
It started with T-Mobile. So on January 31st, it started with a text message. Ding, there's a problem with your payment. The account is still showing a negative or balance, or credit rather. Account is still showing a credit, but suddenly we're getting a text message like, oh, there's a problem with your payment. Please contact us. And it was right at that moment where I knew it's over. And then one by one by one by one, we started getting messages, started getting emails. A Bank of America and Chase didn't contact me at all. They just reversed the payments. But I think it was the lenders, the larger lenders, New Res and PHH, I believe, you know, sent something that indicated there was a problem.
Do you think the banks bear some responsibility?
I believe the banks bear the capability and the responsibility, not just in this instance, but for making sure this never could have been possible in the first place. And they shouldn't give you confirmation numbers, and they shouldn't give you false balances if those balances aren't necessarily true. Because all of those decisions that we made for 3 to 4 to 5 business days were based on believing that they would never let anybody make such a huge payment to them and not catch it right away. In this modern day of technology, we were in the middle of building an after-school community center. And the funds that I had set aside to build that community center, I'm no longer going to be able to build it. And I think that whatever happened to this person that led them down a pathway to only understanding how to acquire wealth through these means, I believe starts in an upbringing. And what we're trying to build is trying to stop that from happening, you know, to give people education and information and how they can take care of themselves, take care of their families.